following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
Coming off a wild race from Daytona last Sunday night, it is back to action on the mile and a half Kansas Speedway. Sim500 action on the Captain Esports Network. We welcome you in to the track with the longest straightaways of all 1.5 mile tracks. Kansas Speedway virtually on iRacing. It is race number 13 as we are just about to halfway in the season for the NC811.org Xfinity Series, which has 28 total races. However, we're only 7 races away from the playoffs kicking off. And here's another one that we knock off the list coming up here in just moments here at the Kansas Speedway. I'm the captain. We get you ready for 120 laps and 180 miles of racing here tonight on a track that is going to see racing all the way from the bottom all the way to the top here in multiple degrees of banking from 18 to 20. You're going to see fast speed. You're going to see slick racing. You're going to see passing and probably some strategy come into play here at Kansas Speedway here tonight as we get ready to get going in just a few moments. Let's take a look at the point standings. Braxton DeWeese, after the Daytona race, he takes over the points lead. Mac McMillan was not at the race Sunday night. He and Miles make the jump up to the top 2 spots, and there's a 2-point difference between them. Mike Kelly sits there in 4th, 22 points back. Scott Simley in 5th. Coleman, Donaldson, Calantoni, Dalton, and Scott, your top 10 right now in the point standings. As you go down to the bubble position, 16 cars make the playoffs in the series here for the Xfinity Series, and you see Kevin Stone. He is the guy on the bubble right now by 11 over Justin Fuller, who, mind you, has only made 7 starts. He has missed 5 races and sits here in the 17th position. That is how good that 55 car has been tonight, and needless to say, he's going to be probably pretty good here tonight at Kansas also, so we'll keep an eye on him. Kevin Brown right there, 18th. Joe Hudson, Gerald Livingston, all the way down to 20th, and you get down here towards some of the guys who have had their struggles, so on and so forth. Josh Parker, Jose Gonzalez, those guys looking to make up a lot of ground here tonight. I know Gonzalez is here as I look over to the left. Parker's here also, so those guys looking to gain some ground here this evening as we get ready to go racing momentarily again at Kansas. Appreciate the viewers here. I know the number should pick up here as we get going viewer-wise tonight, but appreciate everybody. And Chris DeWeese already checking in and saying hello. And let's talk to some drivers here tonight as we get ready to go racing. And one moment, we didn't get a chance to do it here on Sunday or Monday. We didn't get that 200th pole for Tyler Dalton. However, it did happen. Wednesday night in the Trans Service Truck Series, Tyler Dalton did win the pole. And I think it's a good opportunity for us to bring him up and celebrate that with him here real quickly as Qualifying is going to begin here in about 5 minutes. Tyler, obviously, I know you were wanting to do it Sunday or Monday night, getting that 200th pole. You were able to do it Wednesday night. Congratulations. Did it feel like a monkey got off your back a little bit there?
Yeah, I was hoping to make that 200th pole special, and at least it did come in a Premier Series race. Was able to beat Fuller for the pole, which he's always a hard one to beat. Who knows? Maybe we can hit 201 tonight.
Hey, that sounds good to me. So we were just looking over the point standings here, and obviously you're sitting there ninth in points, kind of comfortable. You've had good starts, obviously, to the races, but I noticed when I was looking at a very interesting stat here, I noticed that you're one that's had some of the worst luck when it comes to finishing a race because the average number of positions gained or lost throughout the race from your starting position to finish is one of the highest actually in the league. How do we fix that?
Yeah. Monday and Wednesday so far this season have been great for me. I'm lucky that I got the win earlier in the season on Sundays because we just had horrible luck. Seems like if there's a wreck, we're going to be called in it. It seems like we either get a win or like a top 5 or outside the top 25. So it's been definitely hit or miss. I'm honestly shocked I'm that high in points. Only thing I think saving me there was that win. So a win would be nice, but I need to come out here and just get a good finish because I don't consider where I'm at in points anywhere near safe.
Yeah, and just to explain that stat a little bit to the viewers, basically you're averaging a 5.5 start. Your the average change for you is 15.1, and you're averaging a 20th place finish right now in the series. So that's where it's like, how do we close that up right now? You and Tommy right now, the two, unfortunately, in that standing that's going down there. But hey, good start tonight, my man.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, this series has just been. If bad luck is going to hit someone, it's going to hit me. So hopefully we can do better and manage to avoid that tonight. I know, like at Dover, I had an easily top 5 car there. Got wrecked out on like lap 1 or 2.
Right.
There's been a lot of races where we started good, and then there's been something that happens early on and just puts us way on back. Outside of our win, we've only had, I'm looking at a 7th, and an 8th. There are only 3 of the top 10 finishes, and the rest of them have been, well, last week was the 17th at Daytona, but other than that, they've been outside the top 20. So it's definitely just got to go out there and try to keep ourselves out of trouble, not make any stupid mistakes, and try to avoid any trouble that is caused by anyone else.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. Well, hey, best of luck here tonight. Got qualifying in a moment, so go get them.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. Tyler Dalton, and of course, 200 poles. Congratulations to him on that. And yeah, he could get 201 this evening. We will have to see. So, you of course, I bring up the worst driver when it comes to the numbers, right? Of the average gain or loss positions after he started the race. So, who has the best? Well, this is kind of a weird stat here from this standpoint because now you would think immediately, okay, Josh Parker, who likes to start in the back, gets top 5s, that kind of thing. But you got to remember, this accounts for all the starts in the series. So as I look at this, the driver who actually has the best number of average change in the field and has made more than 10 starts, we'll call it. This is race 13 tonight. Believe it or not, is Gerald Livingston with 18 positions gained. He's averaging a 38th place start because he does usually qualify and finishes usually in 20th. So obviously that's the other end of the spectrum. Doug Sigmund's up there. Charles Van Schaik and others. So what that accounts for, again, is your average starting position and then your average finish is how that works out. But average start so far this season, obviously, Tyler Dalton is up. He won when it comes to that. Now, who's the best average finisher so far? And that, of course, being Fuller with the 7 starts is at 6.9. But with 10 starts, it's actually Mac McMillan who averages a 9th place finish. And anxious to see if Mac gets in. There's Mac in here tonight, so we'll have to see. I'm looking for the 88 on the grid here as I peek over here to my left. I do not see Mac's name, but I can easily miss it because there's a lot of drivers getting ready to go racing here tonight as we get ready to go qualifying here at the Kansas Speedway as practice wraps up. And, of course, our qualifying presented by 811. Know what's below and call before you dig. As the cars will get out there on track, they get their usual 2 laps. And we'll see what they can do here. who's going to be the first one out on the track? We're going to find out right now. It looks like Wesley Donaldson going to be the first one across the start-finish line as he gets out there on track. So let me go get the camera here, and let's get out there and watch these guys run a lap around this 1.5-mile track. Again, tradition here, a little bit of D-shaped, obviously, with 18 to 20 degrees of banking into the corners here. And let's see, Wesley's going to go up there to the top side, which is where the 20 degrees is. Some say that is the preferred groove, but of course, with fresher tires, you might be able to use the bottom a little more. We'll have to see how this transpires in qualifying, but I can tell you this, with how the teammates work with Wesley Donaldson, he hangs out there with Tyler Dalton an awful lot, so it's safe to say that that's going to be the groove Tyler probably runs as they come to the start-finish line here as Donaldson lays down the first lap at a 31.5. So good lap for him. It is right off the bat. J.P. Phillips jumps up there. John Schweikert, who is fast in practice, he crosses the line. The debut in Chris Dean in the 86 car. He is a 32.3. Probably a throwaway lap there, I'd have to say. Parker actually out here running a qualifying lap, which never happens. That should tell you something right there about how important it's going to be. And I think this is more Parker trying to break his luck and get up there towards the front. As Matthew Martell, 31.41, goes to the pole. As Parker crosses the line. And Braxton DeWeese goes up with a 31.38 on his lap. Here's Eric Arnold, the 811 car, one of a few. And Eric qualifies nowhere. I don't see him on the list yet, so apparently this is his first lap there, it looks like. So Braxton right now to the pole. Dean up to the 8th position. Chad Coleman crosses the line. He goes to P8 with his lap and stays there at a 31.50. Tommy Ryan crossing the line. And he goes P4, 31.40, as Martell, by the way, has jumped up there. 31.35 for him. Let's see what Stephen Miles, the winner from Daytona, what he can do here. Came really close to the wall there, but should be a pretty fast lap here for the 24 as he goes P7. A good lap for the Georgia native there, Stephen Miles, with a 31.449. Maximus Molina in there in the 12th position, making a return to the series tonight. Tyler Dalton, lap 1, goes P12 as we ride with the South Carolina 811 car. Running up there on the top side. He's in the yellow right now. Is he going to go slower? Lap 2. I think number 201 is going to unfortunately wait. 31.43 is P6 on the board. Not a good lap there as Mike Kelly gets across the line. He's 26th on lap 1. Got 3 cars on track still here. Josh Parker, by the way, did not get a lap either way, so he must have scraped the wall both times or something. We'll have to check on that. But he is down towards the back. Ryan Wertman out there just logging laps, and here's Mike Kelly. He and Joe Hudson. And Kevin DeBrown, the 3 cars left on track as Kelly crosses the line. Hudson crosses about the same time. Mike goes up to 13th. Hudson is 28th right now. Here's Kevin DeBrown through 3 and 4. And Kevin slots in 19th. Struggle bus there. And here's the Code Brown machine. And Hudson goes P11 on his lap. So nice job. And that's it. Everybody's off the track. Right at the 5-minute mark. So Matthew Martell going to win the pole here. We'll try and get a word with him after the national anthem and celebrate his pole, which of course presented by 811. Know it's below. Call before you dig. Let's go trackside.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, as the cars grid, and we get ready for the start of 120 laps, 180 miles of racing. In this 811 Xfinity Series. Matthew Martell on the pole. Getting to play guess the name again here in Discord. I was going to pull him up here. And I think this is him in the LaRue team. I'm going to pull him up here and take a chance here for a second. Here, right. Let's see if this is. All right, Matt, you got a copy button?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Congratulations on the pole.
Well, thank you. It's
All right.
a night here.
Finish it.
I'm usually good going right and left, so I'm really shocked that I'm on pole here, but I got some teammates that helped me get up to speed here, so appreciate that from them.
All right. Well, best of luck here tonight.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Matthew Martell, the pole sitter here tonight. And as we get him down to his LaRue Esports channel, as you see the grid up there on the screen, where everybody's going to start here this evening. See Gonzalez and Dylan Water there on road number 9. Montesi, there's Parker, 32nd position for him. And the rest of your starters, Joachim Wild, Sigmund, Wortman, and Gerald Livingston on the starting grid. Race information tonight, as mentioned, 120 laps, the iRacing default weather, 3 sets of tires in the pits, 2 overtimes if needed. And click your heels and let's go green. Here from the Kansas Speedway, as Sim500 and the NC811.org Xfinity Series goes green, race 13 from Kansas. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com as Martell gets swallowed up on the start. I mentioned our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. They're online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. And that start of the race almost looks like Martell did put tires on to start the race. Oh, contact Rivera going to the inside. And caution's coming out as more cars get turned around here. Somebody right in front of Schweikert. And others with some damage here. Gonzalez, Jeff Ryan. And an early caution here. There's cars everywhere after that. There's started over off turn 2 and finished over in 3 and 4. See Gonzalez with no tail end. He's going to have to get that likely fixed. Vera, of course, was up here in the 10th position as he Comes up there. Oh, he and Schweikert make contact in the 20. Oh, you know what? Schweikert's trying to catch the car the whole time. And then you see more cars. Gonzalez gets tangled up with somebody up there. I mean, this was just a... Oh, this wreck took a long time to happen. Let's, there goes Rivera. Here goes Schweikert. This is right in front of the pole sitter, by the way, who's going to clip the 43. And there's the 26 going around. Jeff Ryan gets hit. And I think that's about it. 3 or 4 cars. When all that's over with involved. That could have been a lot worse. Let's go to Gonzalez here. So you're going to see the 22 here goes sideways. There he goes off the track. Locks it down there. Not sure if he hit the wall or not. There's the contact Schweikert and Hudson. Oh, and then Coleman gets into Jose. And then Jeff Ryan gets him. So we'll add a 5th car to it. But let's see if Rivera kept it off the wall here. As he went spinning to the infield. Oh yeah, nice job by Nelson. So in all that, the 5 of Braxton DeWeese has taken the lead of this race. As we'll get one to go this time by. That was a little bit of an exciting start, huh? Charles Van Schaik, a few cars coming to pit road here. And that's going to kind of play a role here as we're going to watch this 120-lap race. Fuel mileage is usually just between 50 and 60 laps. So obviously these couple of laps right here could be the difference in making this 1 stop or 2. We always talk about this. Most of these mile-and-a-half tracks are around 120-lap races. And it can make things very interesting. Nonetheless. Braxton still looking for that first win. He's come so close. Multiple times. I mean, I think of, was it Dover, I think it was, the race he was leading. Or was it Iowa? One of the races he was leading until the last moment, the last restart. And unfortunately, it was Dover because Mike Kelly ended up getting him in the end. As Braxton leads them to the green here, Callan Tony, Wesley Donaldson, Tommy Ryan, J.P. Phillips, your top 5. As they race down to turn 1. Again, the cars fan out here to the bottom, to the middle, to the top. Of course, it narrows back up right here down the back straightaway. Dalton swings it inside of Phillips for 5th. Hornets nest back here. Mike Kelly in this battle here. There's Martell just in the battle. Wait a minute. Brian Wortman's running a FedEx car. That's interesting. Thanks. Or is that Wortman? No, that's not Wortman. I'm used to Wortman being in the 89 from before. Who is that, the 89? Oh, it's Molina. That's who it is. Okay. I got confused there for a second. Maximus Molina there, 12th position in the FedEx 89 car. Christopher Dean right there in front of them in the 86. Coleman, Fuller, Stone, all in this battle right here. As these guys fan out, the tires. You're going to see a lot of wear on these tires tonight. And I think as you see that, the cars are going to move up the track towards the top side. But I think you're going you see a lot of cars getting up in the outside wall, and this track here at Kansas has always been one that is grippy when it comes to the wall. Usually if a car, no matter what you're driving, gets into the wall here at Kansas, for some reason it grabs it and it sticks to it. You got to be very careful how you pull the car off the wall. It can cause some contact with another car, and then a caution comes out, and then people are mad at you because you should have kept the car in the wall, as they say. You see the lanes already starting to migrate up towards the top side here. Mike Kelly up to the 6th position, started 14th in that 2 car, looking good here so far. There's Martel. There's an example right there. You saw Martel clip the wall there. Kind of got stuck to it a little bit. Up here for 3rd, Tommy Ryan. By Wesley for position. Alan Tony starting to put the pressure on. There, Dalton and Phillips and Kelly, those guys here, as you see this track, just living up to what it does. Produces great racing here. There in the 5th position. Meanwhile, look here. Braxton under some pressure. Here comes that Talking Giants 84 of Anthony Calantoni. Oh, he's up in the wall a little bit. Very easy to do. Especially off turn 4 here. This 4 narrows up really big right there. There's like a little hill that you go over. Let's track back here to Mike Montesi here in this 6 car. Josh Parker there in the 81, the 01. That is Sean Burke. And Christoph Hall, Alan Wild, a couple of names here. That 47, cool looking paint scheme there. That Mobile One paint. Brent Scott there in the 35, or 33 car, I should say. Justin Fuller amongst his battle too, started back in 25th position as the 55, one of the hottest drivers in the league right now. And Units Toyota to the 17th position here. Plenty of race to go, obviously. Let's talk a little bit about the history of the Kansas Speedway when it comes to Sim 500 races, especially here on Sundays. Racer Hub does a great job, as mentioned, for what they do here. And the Kansas Speedway here, this is the 5th race that the Xfinity Series has ran. Of course, this track actually was added only a few years ago. It's one of the, I mean, I guess you can call it a newer track, but it's only been added for a couple of years. 2018 was the first start here, and Jose Gonzalez actually went to victory lane in that 100-lap race. We had Byron Daly won 2 in a row in 2019 and 2020. That's the same Byron Daly that we've seen in the Coke Series before. And then after a 3-year hiatus, believe it or not, Pedro Mojica went to victory lane in May of last year. We did not see a race here in the Xfinity Series at all for the last 3 seasons until last year. And that race only had 1 caution in it. We had 2 in the race in 2020 and then also in 2018. So again, I bring up the traditionally races have not seen many cautions at Kansas, but as we've seen this season, that doesn't mean anything, I guess, so to say. We'll see some green flag racing, and it seems like we get that one moment, and all heck breaks loose after that. That's something we're going to have to keep an eye on. As Dalton's starting to fall back here a little bit in that 19 car. Miles has gone by. You see Eric Arnold's gone by. And now he's got J.P. Phillips there behind him, Dean behind him, Kevin DeBrown, who's up 8 spots to 12th. Robert Friery also there as But I saw some issues going on here with Christoph Hall and Nelson Rivera, but those guys are just battling for the 25th position here. Battles everywhere. Laps in the books. Appreciate the viewers checking us out here tonight on the Captain Esports Network. If you're new to the chat, hit that subscribe button, please. If you're not new, then of course we appreciate you coming back, hanging out right there at the 1100 mark for subscribers. Always appreciative of those guys and gals who check out the stream whenever they can, or if they're watching videos on demand and so on and so forth, which you can always do. You can always go back and watch races from the past. I try to keep it organized. Usually it's once or twice a year I get to organize all the channels up with the races, but worst case scenario, you just go searching for a race and find it. We are 20 laps in. 100 laps to go next time by in this race here at the Kansas Speedway. Seeing a lot of side-by-side racing. It's always good to see. As Fryer gets up in that outside wall a little bit. Kevin DeBrown shoots the gap, shoots the middle, and makes the pass on both of them off 4. All right, let's get one out of the way early here. Let's step away and hear from 811 as you're watching the Captain Esports Network in Sim500 Racing.
This tree is going to look great here.
Did you call 811 to protect your underground utilities?
I can't wait to see these roses come up.
Dig, dig, dig! Wait, we forgot to call 811.
Before you dig, make sure you can. Call 811 to know what's below. It's up to all of us to protect the ones we love.
All right, back we are here, 22 laps in. As 3 wide off turn 2 here. As Molina, Dean, and Gillenwater. And there's Fuller coming into the picture, sweeps it to the top side there. Good reminder, as you saw that break from 811. This is getting into the springtime now. Of course, this is that time you go outside and decide to put a pool in or building a fence or whatever it may be. A good reminder to call before you dig. And it's not only that, but the law. So make sure you call 811 before you dig. So Dewey still leads, and we're now seeing a battle for the second position. Tommy Ryan looking pretty sporty in that Northern Tool, which, by the way, you can get a tool for Northern Tool to dig if you're going to call 811 before you do so. That's called tying sponsors together. So there's your top 3. They're separated roughly by about 3/4 of a second. And then from about 8th place on back to roughly 19th. Look at this line. You got 11 cars sitting here, 12 cars. And all you can do here is just pick a lane, find some clean air as best as you can. Lap times have fallen off a full 2 seconds already in this race. So you talk about tire wear. This is one of normally I can tell you that a one-stop race will lose to a 2-stop strategy all day on like fuel mileage and things like that. Today, I can almost 100% guarantee you probably would like to pit twice in this race. Just the way the tire wear. I mean, we're only 25 laps in. Leader's running a 33.7. And he ran a 31.7 back at lap 1. So now, obviously, the million-dollar question that I don't know if these guys ran enough in that 1 hour practice, but the million-dollar question, obviously, to ask is, do the tires plateau like you will see at some tracks as the 55 giving the 89 a boost into turn 3? If these cars obviously see the fall off in their tires and they start just running right around 33.7s the rest of the run, then eventually the new tires will catch up time-wise. So that's something I'll have to keep an eye on here in the next 20 laps or so before we get to that pit stop. Unless somebody comes in and say 13 laps from now and splits it into threes. And see if we get to, as Gillenwater gets the outside wall, if we see 34-second laps or even more later in this race. But normally at most of these races, you will see plateauing, as they call it, of speed. And the times pretty much stay about the same after a certain amount of laps. See second and third still single file. Let's go back. Here's now 3 wide with Phillips. Fuller up the middle. Justin's got that car driving well right now, up to the 12th position. Oh, and Molina into the wall. See Parker and Dean, 17th, 18th position here for those guys. Further back, Glenn Campbell. He's got a 1.5 mile win at Vegas. Was on the Cup side of things. A little bit struggling tonight here. And the 22nd position, you see Rivera back there. Also, Rivera was, of course, nearly spun around on lap number 2 of this race. A good save on his part earlier, and he is running right now in the 22nd position. Battle for second, Tommy Ryan to the inside. He takes it past Calantoni for P2. As Coleman sliding up into 15th here. So you're definitely seeing comers and goers here in this race. Joe Hudson, the only car off the track right now, but obviously some heavily damaged vehicles towards the bottom right now. John Schweikert, 36th right now. He's on the lead lap, but he is definitely struggling right now with the damage on that one car. Starting all the way up in the 10th position. 3 wide into 1. Racing here, phenomenal right now. I don't know where to look. Like I'm finding battles and just clicking on them and watching. Kind of makes you want to be a fan, right? Just hang out. How about this guy here? Oh, I just see some contact. Let's go back to this. I was going to give a shout out to Martell because he's back up to the 5th position after probably was saving his tires a little bit there maybe or something early in this race. But then I saw it look like Gillenwater and Dean was hitting each other here. .33 of Brent Scott getting stuck up the outside wall. Back up here to Martell while we get a second here. As you see him running up there ahead of Eric Arnold. There's Wesley Donaldson, the 91. Stephen Miles there back behind him. The Daytona winner there. Tyler Dalton also in this battle. Let's watch. Got the speed here of Eric Arnold. Down to turn number 1 here. 184 miles an hour with the draft. As Martellus gets the outside wall there. Had to check up a little bit, see if Arnold tries to slide here. He sure does. Goes into the corner, sends it up top side there. Got to carry that momentum, though, off the corner. All right, so here's what we have potentially for us here. We're at lap 35 right now, and I have a good feeling that we're going to see some cars on pit road in the next 5 laps, around lap 40. Because obviously splitting 40 would go 40, 40, 40 to the finish. Now, you could see a couple cars maybe go 50. You could see some go 45, maybe even go full distance, 57, 58 laps. But I think you're going to see most of these cars coming in around lap 40, especially with the tire fall off, as we're starting to see some cars get to the 34-second range, laps time-wise, which is about 2.5 seconds off the fastest lap. Of course, track temp continues to climb. Let's take a peek at the weather real quick. Of course, it is iRacing default, but oh, Martel up in the wall again. 120 right there, top right side. There's where you see the track temp. So obviously track very slick, tires wearing. Been a good opportunity to save the camera, didn't I? As Mike Kelly going to be the first one on pit road. Right on cue. And a little early, lap 37 for the driver of the 2 car. More tires and fuel. And he pulls away. Now, the one thing I did not get a chance to work on, by the way, and I am going to get it together for all the cars, is the Coleman cam. It is something I introduced on Monday. Honestly, I got a little bit of work to do on it, so before I bring it back out, I want to make sure I get it right on these cars. But basically, it's going to be a view of the right front tire as they come off the track with these with the tire wear and stuff. And I had it last week in the next gen car, but it was a little bit of a blurry shot, so I'm working on it and going to get it right so that you'll be able to see what the right front tire on some of these cars look like as they come to pit road. And I'm hoping to get that in all the leagues here in the near future. More cars: Christoph Hall, Montesi, Gonzalez to pit road. Of course, these guys are going to feel like Superman when you get out here on these tires. Sean Burke to pit road. Oh, Sean Burke might have issues. As, yeah, he went skating, it looks like here. A little drifting. That's going to be an unsafe entrance to pit road and probably going to be a penalty, unfortunately, for the 01. So, tough break there. The 40 laps complete now. And we've seen roughly 8 cars come to pit road here. That tells me a lot of these guys are going to go longer into this run. Tonight, I am a fan of that Mike Kelly strategy. That's just me, but you're talking to a guy that's only won like a handful of races altogether on iRacing. So. Oh, Stephen Miles on the outside wall. And Glenn Campbell with issues as he is spun over here trying to get to pit road. Very underrated pit road, by the way, here. It is tough to get on. When you're going 160 or so, 150 mile an hour through 3 and 4, and you got to cut left right here on the pit road. Not easy when the tires are worn out and hot. There's Fryery in the outside wall now. You ever want to know what it's like to, if you ever have that curious mind of what it feels like to be a bug when you get zapped by one of those bug things or you get stuck in it? Go hit the wall at Kansas. You'll know the feeling. Looking at some of the times, look like a lot of people having issues here. In their pit stops. Sean Burke and lost a few laps with his pit stop, obviously after his mistake and so on and so forth. It looks like Glenn Campbell himself had a 15.2. Surprised they're not getting penalties for that. Well, you know what? He might not have been on pit road yet when that deal happened, so he might have gotten away with it. Let's go back and see Sean Burke first come to pit road. Locks it down here, crosses the line, locks it down again. So usually right here is a penalty. So I think Sean did get that penalty because he's a couple laps down now for an unsafe entrance or whatever that is to pit road. I forget what the actual term is, what they call it in iRacing, but it's something. Glenn Campbell, on the other hand, see what happened to the Trans-Service Camaro. Come to pit road here, and it's just tough. I mean, literally four-wheel slide. And what he does is actually smart. He cuts the wheel left here and goes around the cone, which keeps you from the penalty. Good job by Campbell to do that. So he actually is okay. Though he lost a lot of time, so that's the penalty, technically. So Braxton Deweese is pulled away here, 1.1 seconds over Tommy Ryan. But here come leaders to pit road, or some of the leaders. Donaldson and Fuller. Tommy Ryan coming to pit road now. Here comes Callan Tony, Arnold Dalton, so expect Deweese probably to pit road here. This is right at the lap 47 mark now, as somebody off in the grass out there again. As they get into their pit stall. 4 tires and fuel for all these guys. You can see the lap time and pit stops for everybody here. Everybody 36, 37, 40, 46. Braxton's on pit road now. So is Kevin DeBrown, JP Phillips, and others. Tyler with a little bit of a longer stop, I think, there. As here comes the 5 crew. Going to work on the pole sitter, Braxton Deweese. Sorry, outside pole sitter, Braxton Deweese. Let me get that corrected. 4 tires and fuel for the 5. Nelson Rivera leading now. As he pulls away, gets stopped there. 14.4. So everybody looking pretty normal on stops. I see this 17.4 from Wesley Donaldson. That's not good. Tyler Dalton, 17.5. A couple of rough stops here. John Schweikert, obviously, well, that was lap 3. He did his stop. So you got to look at the guys that pitted back here, 36, 37, all these guys here. And you see the guys that pitted under that yellow early in the race. Here comes Rivera to pit road. Hands the lead over to Charles Van Schaik right there in the Wheaties car. Lap number 50. Here come the fresh tires around those guys. So obviously with this happening, and look, there's Tommy Ryan flown by. I mean, you just got to hold your lane here and just hope that nobody runs into you. So you got to wonder how these guys, are they looking to go one stop? If so, they got to go another at least 8 laps. And I say at least because you probably got to do a couple extra laps past 60. Yeah, I can see Van Schaik doing it. I can see Woods doing it because they pitted under that caution. But Miles and Dean back here 3rd and 4th, they've stayed out. And they have not pitted at all. As a matter of fact, here comes Doy and Dean, or Miles right now to pit road at 53. So if I had to tell you right now, they're not making it. Most of these guys here are on one stop. It's going to be tough. I will say I don't think it's a winning strategy. Will you gain some track position? Maybe. But you can see, unlike the race at the Cup race last week at where were we at? I can't even remember off the top of my head here, but in that race you didn't see the fall off, so that's where that strategy that you saw from like Mike Kelly and those guys able to steal a lot of track position, almost winning the race, fell up a little short. Where tonight, though, I feel like you're going to lose a lot more when it's all said and done. But, hey, I've been wrong so many times, and I'm okay with it. Which, by the way, we were at Homestead last Monday night. Texas, the old Texas, tomorrow night, by the way, for those curious. For the Cup Series. Dean on pit road now, lap 55. So that leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars that have not pitted in this run. Oh, Brian Workman off the pace in the 74. Hey, look at that cool logo on the right side. Appreciate you, Workman. Captain Esports Network sitting down there on the logo. I mean, there's strategy all over the place now. I love this kind of stuff. When you see the different strategies, you see the guys going flying by others, and you know, and up here in the booth, you really don't know outside of the knowledge that you've learned before the race, is talking to people and getting information of like how far you can really go on fuel. I don't have any of the telemetry that tells me like how much they've saved or so on and so forth. So it's literally a guessing game for me to guess how much fuel these guys have saved as Brent Scott comes to pit road. But the first car off of pit road that is pitted during this run is going to be Mike Kelly. He is in the 3rd position. He pitted at lap 36. And then Braxton DeWeese is about 6 seconds behind him. Matter of fact, let's an easier way to explain this. Let's pull up the old track map here. Mike Kelly is right here in 3 and 4 right now in that 2 car. Braxton DeWeese is in the 5 car over here in 3 and 4 now. And then you've got Charles Van Schaik, who is over here off the back straightaway in the 23 car. I wish I could find a way to color those, but I can't do it for positions, unfortunately. At least if somebody knows how to do it, show me, so I can ask. All right, so Van Schaik coming to lap 59. He and Scott Simley. I'm not surprised that either of these two are doing this strategy, by the way. Once Kelly and Simley go to pit road, you will see Van Schaik and Simley. Kelly will go to the lead. Braxton's there behind him. Calantoni, Ryan, and Fuller. And then it's all going to get kind of separated out. As Miles laps himself, so that's now 27 cars back on the lead lap. Dory Woods will make it 28. And here's lap 60. So here's the halfway point right now. So the only downfall of this is Van Schaik will likely lose a lap with this, but he will at the same time be the fastest car at the track, he and Simley, as they go into this run. As you're seeing already some times falling off the map here from some of these cars, 32s and 33-second laps already in this run. And some of them pitted right about lap 40 to 45 to 46 and so on and so forth. So, like I said, the strategies are all over the place here. As here, Eventually going to be the battle for the third position as Tommy Ryan and Anthony Calantoni. As Randy Yoakum with an issue. He's slow over here in turn 3. I'm not sure if he went for a spin or something for the 811 car, but he is off the pace. You know what? He pitted at lap 3. Oh, he's got heavy left side or heavy rear damage. So likely something happened, and we stay green. Here comes the 43. Here comes Schweiger. Oh, Martell with heavy damage. And now Kevin DeBrown has got issues. No caution yet. And I think Kevin just jumped to the pits. Oh, that almost flipped this race on its lid. What happened to Kevin DeBrown? Look at his smoke over here. Friery just, Friery come off the wall and got in the uh-oh, this is going to leave a mark. Oh, nose first. Yeah, the engine blew up, so he had to tow back. And so far off the track that nothing came of it. See if we can find what happened to Yoakum now. And others here. Maybe somewhere in this area, I'm kind of guessing. And Martell already with heavy damage on the 51. There's the 8 already with damage. Happened somewhere right in here, maybe. Oh, bam, right there. What in the world? Was Yoakum trying to go to pit road? Oh, yeah, he was off the gas in the area. Martell ran him over. Wow, unfortunate break there. As now Charles Van Schaik at lap 65 comes to pit road. So that'll cycle everything back around to Mike Kelly, who is now the leader. And he has got 1.9 seconds over Braxton DeWeese, who's got 1.6 seconds back to Calantoni, who's got Tommy Ryan trying to pass him for third. So we're going to let them battle for a quick second, and we'll step away, come back, and watch this battle here for the third position on the Captain Esports Network. It's Sim500 Racing.
When do you plan on putting in that new fence we've been talking about since last summer?
I guess I could start tomorrow.
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC811 app. Know what's below before you dig. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
68 laps complete here from the Kansas Speedway. We welcome you back to Sim500 Racing, the NC811.org Xfinity Series here from Kansas as we watch the battle for 8th. Nelson Rivera, Bob Gillenwater, Josh Parker, 8th, 9th, and 10th here. As we've only had the one caution at the beginning of the race. Lap number 3 just got done with green flag pit stops. Had a little bit of drama as Martell, Friery, and Yoakum are on pit road right now. As we did have a couple of little incidences happen during the green flag pit stops, but we stayed green. The biggest one, as you saw right before we went to break, between Yoakum and Martell and a couple others. I mean, it looked like, and again, this is just off vantage there, that maybe Yoakum was going to come to pit road. And unfortunately was just in the middle of the track and had some contact with other cars, including Martell there. So, but appreciate the viewers joining us here this evening. 19 strong at least. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you're not new, we appreciate you coming back and enjoying us as 6 nights of racing, basically, each and every night, all the way through Saturdays, each and every week here for the next few months. And who knows, might even have special events on Saturday nights at times. So right now, though, it's 6 nights a week. So Bob Gillenwater, Josh Parker, 9th and 10th there. JP Phillips back behind them. Miles there in 12th. But the cars we are going to have to watch are going to be the ones that pitted after lap 60. Scott Simley, Charles Van Schaik, they're back in 23rd and 24th right now. And they are, as a matter of fact, Simley is the only one a lap down. Somehow, Van Schaik has stayed on the lead lap. He is right on the edge of it. There's your leader. But he is on the lead lap. And he's going to want this race to stay green. Molina and Kevin Stone battling for 13th. Don't worry, tonight I will not get Maximus Molina mixed up with Pedro Mojica like I did a couple weeks ago. Story Woods into the picture here in the Haviland 28 car. We're about to have ourselves a battle for the lead here, guys. Look at this. Mike Kelly, who's been leading, pitted 12 laps earlier than Braxton DeWeese. And Mike has done a good job of kind of saving his tires a little bit here. They're running pretty similar lap times now that they've gotten close to each other. But Braxton looking to grab this lead away right now. Try to aero block just a little bit here. Otherwise, no match. And no, you're not seeing two Mike Kellys. That is Scott Simley coming with fresh tires behind him. Meanwhile, these two are back at it again. Tommy trying to clear Calantoni and finally does. So 99 up to third. So as we do this, let's go through the field and show you and kind of track here a little bit of who pitted at what lap here and so on and so forth. So Braxton DeWeese leads this race, pitted at lap number 48. So he'll have to pit one more time here before the end of this race. Mike Kelly right there behind him, hanging on by 0.2 of a second. Mike pitted at lap 36. He'll definitely be on pit road, if so, in the next 5 laps probably for Mike Kelly. Eric Arnold on pit road right now. Matter of fact, while we go through the field, I will take this down and put this up so you can see who's on pit road. Tommy Ryan, 3rd position, pit at lap number 47. Obviously, all these guys are going to be coming to pit road at least one more time before this race is over. Anthony Calantoni there, 5th position. Make that 4th position by 0.4 of a second. Look who's stalking him. The guy that started back in 25th. Running in the 5th position right now. Justin Fuller having a great run again. Cannot stress enough how, in what, half the starts, he is up near the bubble right now in points. And if he can keep this roll going, he'll definitely be in the playoffs here in less than 7 races. Wesley Donaldson, 6th position here, pitted at lap 46. Obviously, he will have to pit again. Tyler Dalton, 7th position. Tyler having a pretty solid run right now. Nelson Rivera pitted at lap 50. Obviously, he will still have to pit again. But obviously, the later these guys pitted, the later they'll go into this run. As Alan Wild, Sean Burke on pit road, by the way. Josh Parker, lap 46 also for him. And pretty much all these guys you're seeing me roll through here. As you see JP Phillips in the 10th position as Mike Kelly comes to pit road now. Wesley Donaldson going to come in with him. Matter of fact, let's cut to this and watch these pit stops. Donaldson, I think, liked the strategy that Kelly did there and how he was able to gain a lot of track position with the shorter run here. Montesi on pit road also, and I'm surprised with how much track position Kelly got from that pit stop in pitting early that you're not seeing more of this. Tommy Ryan on pit road. I mean, the short pitting was the way to go, it looked like there, by the way the track positions were gained. There's the pole sitter, Martell and Forte. Oh, and Campbell goes around again. I mean, he's pitting with style tonight in that 44 car. Making it look fancy. As Tommy leaves pit road, and Campbell is pretty much it. Everybody else still on the track. As look at this, a battle for now second. Justin Fuller has caught Calantoni. And that 55 car going to clear him. As Calantoni's going to come to pit road. Braxton DeWeese, the leader, is in. Why do I have a feeling I had some kind of influence on the 5 pitting? Why did that just come to my mind all of a sudden? Chris. As Tyler Dalton and Bob Gillenwater come to pit road. Did I mention earlier that I've not won many races on here? As there goes Braxton off pit road, 15-3. Calantoni 15-3. As here comes Molina and Jeff Ryan also coming to pit road here, so starting to see them cycle in a little bit more now. As these guys pit, there's Fuller now. As there's Mike Kelly going to shoot on by with the fresh balonies there on that 2 car. Let's show you where everybody sits now in the top 8. Is wow. Fuller back. I ran over by Tommy Ryan there as he comes to pit road. That hands the lead to Rivera and JP Phillips and those guys. Fuller obviously countering the DeWeese stop and others. Ooh, Aaron's hacking on me. Ooh. Let me go find my 2 Daytona 500 titles real quickly. Let me go find those certificates. All right, so Fuller pulls down a pit road. Good stop for him as you see Calantoni go by. That's fair. Roy Woods now on pit road. So JP Phillips leading. Josh Parker, Stephen Miles. Bean and Van Schaik. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I'm going to take the times down here because let's pull this down and show you now the pit strategy. Because here's where it's going to get interesting when I show you this number. Let's go to pit stop lap. Look at these two right here in 5th and 6th. That's the 2 guys that pitted at the end of the first scheduled stint, basically at 64 and 65 laps. Those are the 2 that we're watching to see yeah, still likely make it the rest of the way, but how are the tires going to be? Because here's Mike Kelly right here in 8th. And there's literally only a 5-second difference or so from Simley back to Kelly. And as for Van Schaik, it looks like it's roughly about 6 seconds or so back to Kelly. So that's where I tell you that these two, this is not a winning strategy probably for these two here, 4th and 5th. But we're looking at potentially a strategy that could give them a gain in track position, which, hey, in the end, that's a winner when you look at it from that standpoint. So Miles and Dean lead, Van Schaik and Simley, Brent Scott as Parker's on pit road. And there's Mike Kelly. He's the first one out of pit road, but he has got Tommy Ryan coming to him. Tommy countered that strategy by Kelly, and you see Braxton DeWeese right back there with him. There's Fuller just come off turn 4 there also, or is that Donaldson? I'm sorry. That is Wesley. Very similar blue cars. As Miles comes to pit road now at lap 90. Fantastic racing, by the way. This is so cool to always be a part of. Honored to be a part of this series and the racing that these guys always do at some of these tracks. As there's your leader now, Charles Van Schaik. 0.4 of a second over Dean, who's making his debut tonight in this series. And I think Dean's going to come to pit road here. There's Scott Simley. And there's Mike Kelly right behind him. And there's a battle. It could be, in the end, for the win of this race, or for the lead at least. Ryan and Kelly as DeWeese reeling him in. Oh, Kelly gets the wall a little bit. As there goes Tommy to the front. Technically for 3rd right now. Braxton swings it to the inside, and literally about a 3-lap difference in these cars from pit stops. Kelly pit at 78, Tommy 79, DeWeese at 81. Is tonight the night Braxton finally gets that first win? He's been up there in the points all season long. Of course, had that win stolen from him at Dover earlier this season. Is tonight the night he finishes this one off, or does Tommy Ryan go back to victory lane, or something happened? And what I've seen this year in this series, anything can happen. This mess. Kevin Stone, JP Phillips, Jeff Ryan. There's Molina back there with Josh Parker. Less than 30 laps to go in this race. And let's step away and get another break out of the way. We'll come back and get you to the finish of this race. It's a wild one here at Kansas. Who's going to victory lane? We find out shortly on the Captain Esports Network.
What a nice day to install my new mailbox.
Hi there, friend. I'm Dig Safely Man. My job is to ensure you call 811 before you dig.
Why do I need to do that?
Vital utilities like natural gas and electric run just beneath the Earth's surface. Damaging them can cause service interruption, environmental hazards, or personal injury.
I thought only contractors had to call before they dig, so homeowners do too.
Call 3 business days before you dig unless you have X-ray vision. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
As we battle, 25 laps to go at the Kansas Speedway. Tommy Ryan, Braxton DeWeese. This is for what is going to be the lead of the race. Charles Van Schaik does lead by 3.3 seconds. and is trying to win this race on fuel mileage. However, he has about 14 lap older tires than the rest of these guys. And has done a great job of keeping out front, but these guys are reeling him in. There's Miles getting past Arnold. This is the 17th position here. Bob Gillenwater, Nelson Rivera. We try to get you as many passes and as many battles as possible with all the different tire strategy and more. As Nelson, who went for a wild ride at turn 2, lap 1, takes the 5G car up to the 11th position past Gillenwater. By the way, Gillenwater with a new sponsor tonight. And by the way, this is it's called Hillbilly Grow, and he was explaining it to me. It's they work on plants and different types of like trees and like planting and stuff like that. So cool to see a new sponsor on the car. Scott Simley, unfortunately, just holding on to trying to get to the finish of this race. As Fuller goes by, there's Wesley Donaldson back there with Calantoni, 7th and 8th, but Fuller, a phenomenal job gaining 20 positions. As Calantoni's got the outside wall. Between Calantoni and Donaldson, and this is where I will say this: the longer you go on a stint, I have noticed, we talked about the plateauing of speeds earlier. Yes, you still lose time the longer you go on tires. However, the quicker times do start catching you when it comes to the losing speed the longer the run goes. So as you see where Calantoni's having a harder time passing Simley, that's because Simley's times are slowing down as he goes longer to run, but Calantoni's losing speed quicker because of the newer tires. And obviously, so the longer this goes, it actually does help out Van Schaik and Scott Simley. However, again, like I said, I don't know necessarily if it's the winning move, but I mean, especially Charles here has done a fantastic job of holding on here. I mean, 20 laps to go. He's got 3/4 of a second on Tommy Ryan, who's starting to pull away from the 5 car. As Wortman yields to the 99 car. Can Charles hold him off? That would be phenomenal if he could. That would be awesome. Man, ate his Wheaties tonight, today apparently, huh? Braxton burn his tires up. As there goes Tommy inside of the 23. And cleared. So move Tommy Ryan to the front with 18 laps to go. As Doug Sigmund comes to pit road. And both Dean and Scott get in the wall there. As Rivera goes by for the 10th position. Big shout out to these guys. Big shout out to the viewers who have been watching here tonight. Appreciate every single one of you for coming out each and every Sunday night. If you like to watch this league or if you're just here watching some good iRacing, we appreciate you coming to join us here on the Captain Esports Network. And shout out to those who have been here. I see, obviously, those who have been talking. Of course, Aaron Thomas has been here hanging out, picking on me a little bit, which is totally okay. Chris DeWeese watching. Hellcat 707, appreciate you, sir. That is Mr. Hang on, don't tell me. That's I'm forgetting. Schweikert, thank you. I was trying to remember. I'll see Kevin Brown, who got yeeted into the turn 2 wall earlier, watching the race. Kevin, change your photo, by the way, please. Go back to the other photo. Chad Coleman on pit road. That's an unscheduled stop. What's going on here? I know, Cats. That's 4 tires and fuel for Chad, so I wonder if that was a strategy. Wait, Chad sped on his first pit stop? I didn't notice that. See what happens when you're a one-man show. As Braxton goes to second, he passes the 23 car. You know what? This is going to work out a lot better than I thought it was for Charles. He's third right now. He's got 2.5 seconds back to Kelly, who's under attack now from Fuller. So, I mean, Charles could pull out a top 5 here, which would blow my mind if he did that. Because I literally thought the way the tires were falling off here that Charles maybe would get a top 10, maybe top 15. But he is making this thing hold on. And what I mean by that is you look at Charles, he's third. You go down here, where is Scott Simley's in 9th right now on the same strategy. As there goes Fuller by Kelly for 4th. Of course, tomorrow night, Texas Motor Speedway, the old edition, legacy edition of Texas tomorrow night for the Cup Series. So you'll see the next-gen cars on the 24-degree bankings everywhere around the track, not the one you saw like today. I imagine if the next-gen cars raced about 10 years ago at Texas. That's the track we're going to see tomorrow. Tommy Ryan looking for his 4th career Sunday win here in the Xfinity Series. If he can pull this thing off. I'm not going to spoil it for the people that have not watched the Cup race. I don't spoil it. Ryan Wortman on pit road. I mean, I could give you my traditional answer that I always say when somebody will ask me that question. Danica Patrick. Just because you have no cable, I know ways you can watch the race. Come on now. After the race, I can give you a name of somebody on YouTube if I have to. There's ways to watch the race. It might not be live, but you can watch it. Tommy leads by 1.2 seconds. The battle we're starting to see here, obviously, is Fuller trying to get to Van Schaik. That is 0.6 of a second there, and it's another 0.6 back to Kelly. Obviously, Fuller trying to get up here into the top 3, which would be amazing after only 1 caution in this race, and that happened at lap 2. So we've gone all the way 15 laps or so. Green flag here. Brent Scott has come to pit road with 8 laps to go. This is the best battle right here on the track. Everybody else is pretty spread out Could see Calantoni and Dalton battle for 7th here shortly. As there goes Fuller by for 3rd, so I know he's going to be probably pretty happy with this run. But if anybody gets a driver of the race award, it's going to be that 23 car today. I mean, there's no such thing as an award like that in a series, but man, great job by Charles. Great call on the strategy. Well, Chris, if your boy was holding back, you might want to get it in gear because he's 1.2 seconds back as they come to 5 laps to go. Here's Rivera going by Cell. Assembly's in the outside wall. That's for 9th. Phillips might in the end get to this 12 car before the end. It's down to 1.5. Oh, that kind of saving. Got it. Okay. 4 laps to go. I don't want to call it the missing of Pedro Mojica this season, but if Tommy Ryan go to victory lane, he's going to become the 9th different winner this season in the 14 races. We've had 4 repeat winners. Or, I'm sorry, 13 races. And that's not a knock on Pedro, by the way. Pedro deserved every moment of what he's done in this series of dominance. As Ryan comes to the line, 2 laps to go here. I'm sure all he's thinking is get me back to the white flag, please. Tommy sits 22nd in points right now. Coming into this race, he has gotten 3 poles, but has been struggling to get to the finish line, and now he sees the white flag. Final lap. And another driver potentially looking for a big jump into the playoffs. As we get closer and closer. He made what looked like a last-minute call to come to pit road right there with Mike Kelly, and he was able to make the pass and pull away from the 5 of Braxton DeWeese as Tommy Ryan becomes the 9th winner this season and scores his 4th series win as he slides across the line, clicking his heels and winning in Kansas. As Calantoni goes spinning in turn 1 after crossing the line. Officially 2.2 seconds over Braxton. Fuller ended up only 3/4 of a second behind the 5 for his 3rd. That's impressive. Van Schaik ends up 4th. Top 5 for him. Scott Simley 10th. So, you know what? I'll eat my crow on that one. Good call by both those guys to do one stop and get top 10s out of that. Good little burnout there for the Northern Tool 99 car. As he goes to victory lane here, going to stop right there, park it at the start-finish line. Try to get the... Oh, he just got... There's Fuller blasting him. That's what they do here in this league. That's fun stuff. And let's get your finishing order. Let's look at that real quickly here. I was trying to get Tommy's stats here for the series, and now he's going to need some tools to fix that car, unfortunately. As Tommy wins it by 2.2 over Braxton, as mentioned. Fuller third. Charles Van Schaik, Wesley Donaldson, your top 5. Mike Kelly, Anthony Calantoni. Tyler Dalton gets 8th. Nelson Rivera, Scott Simley, your top 10. 11th to J.P. Phillips. Bob Gillenwater ends up 12th, holding off Miles by about 2/10. Woods 14th, and Maximus Molina finishing in the top 15. Good run for the young man there. Slide this over. 16th goes to Josh Parker, Kevin Stone 17th, Eric Arnold 18th, Mike Montesi 19th, and Alan Wild, the first car lap down, in 20th. Glenn Campbell 21st, Gerald Livingston 22nd, Jose Gonzalez 23rd, Brent Scott and Jeff Ryan, your top 25. And the rest of the finishers of the race here tonight: Chad Coleman, Doug Sigmund, Sean Burke, Chris Dean, Brian Wortman, John Schweikert, Robert Friery, Kevin Brown, Matt Martell, the pole sitter. Unfortunate situation there with he and Randy Yoakum, Joe Hudson, and Christoph Hall, the 37 racers tonight here at Kansas. As let's get our drivers up here as we talk to the top 3 as always, starting with our third place Fuller in the units number 55. Justin Fuller continuing to be one of the hottest drivers in this league. Is tonight maybe the more impressive drive here for Justin. You get the one caution early in this race at lap 2, and from there goes green the rest of the way, and you are able to gain 22 spots and finish third tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's... I can't ask much better than that. This thing was just so tight. I couldn't find any speed with it, and I hit the wall in qualifying, so I didn't get a second lap. Had to start deep, and I knew I was in trouble. But we were just able to work our way through the field on the bottom, really, and pit strategy also helped out a lot. So just happy to come away with another solid finish and keep building on these points.
Yeah, you pitted, it looks like lap 84, and you definitely, I could see at times where you were the faster car on the long run. So, I mean, was there anything you were doing different tonight outside of maybe just trying to save your tires to keep that car going on the longer run?
I just think trying to keep the right front on it for the most part, yeah. It was so tight, and I'm not, contrary to what everybody might think, I'm not good with a tight setup. So I think that kind of, I mean, obviously I had a good run tonight. I'm really good at these style of tracks.
Right.
But just to keep the streak going of these top 3 finishes, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row, top 3s here on Sunday night. So, it's just a good streak going, and glad to continue on with that.
Well, I'm glad I'm not annoying you yet. So you're doing obviously a great job, man, continuing this run, and obviously it's very impressive to watch, especially here tonight on this kind of track. So obviously, questions: how long can you keep this going?
I mean, who knows? What do we got going on next? Pocono, that's another good track for me, so we might have a shot there. Milwaukee is questionable, and Nashville's questionable, but yeah, I just need to keep building on these points to make sure I make the playoffs. That's all I'm really doing. I'm really laser focused on putting these races together and just getting good finishes, and that's kind of what you're seeing. You're just normally seeing me go for the win or wrecking, probably more often than not. But that's because I run the entire season, so I know I'm probably pretty good on points. I started late this season, so I'm really showcasing what I feel like I can do week in, week out. So we'll carry this momentum into Pocono next week, and hopefully come home with another top 3.
Sounds good, man. Well, great job tonight. Send some shout-outs.
Yeah, thanks to you putting on the broadcast. Thanks to Sim500 and all the admins for what they do. Thanks to NC811 for sponsoring the series. Thanks to everybody that watched. Thanks to Trey Edson for always keeping me looking good out here with my units, paint schemes. Thanks to all my teammates at Aftermath Motorsports. And yeah, just a lot of fun tonight. And hopefully we can carry that fun over to next week in Pocono.
The man is on fire. Justin Fuller, as he continues to rack up the top threes. Appreciate your time, bud.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. You too. Justin Fuller finishing in the 3rd position. And as mentioned, probably going to move into the playoffs. And he said the number one thing there was he didn't start the season here, as he has only made 8 starts now and is going to be inside the top 16 in points. So as we bring up our runner-up finish here tonight is Braxton Deweese, who is getting ever so closer to a win in the series tonight. Braxton, obviously close here. Was this one of your more complete races you've run so far? Did I get him in the wrong channel? Oopsies. Let me hit the right button here and make sure Braxton is here. He's here. Can he hear me? We might have to bring Braxton. There he is. Hey, buddy. Yeah, go ahead.
I heard majority of it, but just like you said, getting closer and closer. Honestly, it's just another one I felt like I honestly threw away there with the strategy. I came in and I realized that it wasn't going to fill it all the way up when I was already pitting, so I couldn't really add any more fuel without it, costing me a lot more time. So I kind of just had to roll with it. I need to pay attention a little bit more with that before I pit so I can make sure it's filled up. I felt like that would have helped me a little bit more to get the car a little bit looser. When I got there to Tommy, it stalled out. There wasn't much I could do, especially with him running the top line, and he was able to go to the bottom line and run that too. It's just I couldn't really move anywhere. It just was tight, and not putting that fuel in there I felt like was a big problem. But I felt like pitting a couple laps after him as well was not the most ideal thing to do. Probably a lap after him probably would have been the best thing, or to at least try to stay in front of him. But it is what it is. We still got a 2nd place finish. Got a pretty good points lead, so hopefully we just keep the momentum rolling to Pocono or something.
Yeah, you mentioned the positives. You still got the points lead, and you pulled away a little bit here tonight from that standpoint. And being somebody that's never been in this series before to be leading the points is obviously really impressive. You're getting closer, and sometimes you got to take those wounds and learn from them before that first win gets here. So what I had started to ask before, obviously we lost you there for a second, was this the closest thing to a complete race you've run so far?
I'd probably say in this league, yeah, for sure. Especially the first couple stints there. I felt really good. I kept gaining and gaining on the guys that were behind me, and I felt pretty good on what I did with the car. I usually run 14-to-1 steering ratio in a lot of these races, but it wasn't really working with me, so I switched from 12 to 16 and stuff. So I ended up going with 12. It kind of worked. It was surprisingly, usually that could make you tighter, but I guess it's all just whatever works for you and whatever you prefer with the setup and stuff. So just like I said, I'm happy with the 2nd, just frustrated as well, but it is what it is. We'll go to Pocono, try to be one spot better.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, great job tonight. Congratulations. Send some shout outs.
Yeah, for sure. Booth 34 Diecast on the car. Big shout out to them. I also want to give a shout out to the rest of them of Interstate Ford, Bennett's Biblical, Jane's on Main, Allen's Arts Images, Unrivaled Cinematography, Blaze Designs, and Bully Dog Coffee Company. I know he usually tunes in, so if he's watching right now, shout out to him. Hopefully we can get him that win, and we'll be running his paint scheme a little bit later on this year. We got to get a race set up and the paint scheme set up, so big shout out to him. And you can go to his website and use Brax5 for 10% off the coffee and whatnot. So use that. That helps me. That helps everybody. So I appreciate him and appreciate everybody that tunes in. We'll try to get you a win next week.
All right, buddy. Nice job tonight, man. Shake it off, and we'll see you next week at Pocono.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You too. Braxton Deweese finishing in 2nd here, and you can hear a little bit of disappointment tonight with the unfortunate fuel issue or whatnot, but we've all had that happen before. I mean, how many times have we had apps that short us on fuel or whatever? So, but he'll learn. He'll be good, and he'll get to victory lane here sooner or later as we bring our winner up here, Tommy Ryan, who gets his 4th Sunday win. That stat kind of shocked me when I first saw that. But, Tommy, is this your first win in 3 years in this league, in this series?
Dude, I have no idea. I've gotten junked a lot recently, but it it could be. It could be. I'm not gonna.
I'm
not
looking
gonna.
where I get this from. I'm looking at Sim Racer Hub right now, and I'm not talking about Monday. Monday, you've got a few wins, obviously, we know that. But according to this right here, your last win came in September of 2021 at Bristol in this series.
Wow.
I'm like, wait a minute, is this right?
I thought it was. Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, those things are pretty accurate, so yeah, it could be.
Well, welcome back to Victory Lane then.
How about that?
You definitely worked the pit strategy there. I have to ask about the second stop, because that literally looked like a last second, I'm hanging left and going to pit road move.
Oh, well, no, not really.
Oh, okay.
The guys down there in Team Name or Diecast, or I'm not sure what it's called these days.
One of them channels.
Well, we were talking about how long it took those guys to catch Mike Kelly, who was kind of short pitting a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And Chad pretty much called it. He goes, "Dude, if you're going to win this race, you're going to have to pit when Mike Kelly does." I said, "Sounds good to me." So Mike pitted, so I came around, got tires, and I said, well, I have nothing to lose. I haven't won in how many years has it been?
Apparently 3.
All right. So
2.5.
just went out there and just I caught on to something just before qualifying, how I liked running the top and the bottom 3 and 4, and it just seemed faster. I don't I didn't win the pole, but somewhere in the top 4 or 5 or whatever it was. And I said, man, that kind of felt good. I think there was some grip down there, so I just kind of stuck with that the entire race. And I knew when Brexton, when I beat him out of the pit on the last stop, I was like, I just got to, give him dirty air wherever he goes. And when he gets close to me, I got to just dirty it up. And so, he can't get a run, which is pretty much what I did. But
right.
I was going back and watching replays. I didn't realize how close I was to the fence a couple of times. I mean, I knew I was close, but good gosh, man, I found the cushion, I think.
Sometimes it's better not to go looking at those.
Yeah, but you're close, but you're just not sure how. But I was like,
right.
Man, one more pixel, man, and it was wall time. But no, man, great call by the guys in the channel, because I was pretty committed to running whatever Brexton did whenever he pitted. So when we pitted with Mike, ran him down in, I don't know, 5 or 10 laps, whatever it was, and put him to bed, and then just sailed away and just kind of just maintained the gap with Braxton behind me. So fun, man. Gosh, that was my all them guys in the channel. They were pissing and complaining about how tight it was and speeding and all this other stuff. And I was like, I don't know about y'all, but I'm having a blast up here. So I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally going back here and I'm just taking a peek here. I'm looking at all your career wins on Sim Racer Hub. And I mean, you've won in, let's see, you've obviously got the Talladega win in February. You've got the 2 next gen, or the, let's see, actually 4 next gen wins, if I'm seeing this right. I don't know if I'm seeing this, like, I'm seeing you won at Rockingham, at Dover. But yeah, I don't see anything in a B car until you get to 2020.
Yeah, so, I mean, it could be like
I'm making sure myself here. I want to fact check myself here.
Yeah, I love this car. I race this car a lot. But again, I've gotten junked a couple times. Some of my own doing, some of it not. But when you get in Sim500 and you got, I don't know what the field size was, 30 cars, whatever it may have been.
37 tonight.
Yeah, so I mean, it's tough. I mean, you got to put your head down and focus, and they're not. I mean, you got guys that'll cut you breaks from time to time if they know their fate and everything's all good. But Brexton wasn't going to cut me any breaks if he got to me. I mean, we're racing for the win, so
right.
That's why I had to do what I had to do, and just you got to play strategy and use the air and whatever you have to do. But it's not easy to win here. Obviously, I haven't won in a couple of years in this car, but I love it when it goes green like that, because I feel like I'm pretty good at saving tires for long run speed stuff. Pretty good on short run stuff as well, but I got a better chance, I feel like, if it goes green for a while. But hell of a run, man. It was I had a blast tonight. Had a believe it or not, I'm not a big fan of this track because it's really hard to pass. But it runs a lot like Darlington, which I'm a huge fan of. But for whatever reason, I don't really care for this place too much. But hey, it's a win, so I'm kind of leaning towards it now.
There you go, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations. And send some shout outs to whoever you like to, buddy.
Yep. Obviously, Northern Tool and Equipment, northerntool.com. Springtime is here, so make sure you guys go out to Northern Tool. Got a lot of great sales. You know, we're very competitive. We got same day shipping. We are completely competing with Amazon on how fast you get your stuff. So get out there
Nice.
and order your stuff. If you get an order number and it's coming out of Fort Mill, South Carolina, shoot me an email and I'll make sure it gets out even faster.
There you go. I like it. Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations. And go celebrate the win.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, you too, buddy. That is Tommy Ryan gets the victory here tonight at the Kansas Speedway. Congratulations to him and going to victory lane. Great job by the guys tonight. Great field. Obviously 37 cars, one caution, which of course came on literally lap 2 of the race from just some contact and so on and so forth. But yeah, just a great race overall by all the drivers and definitely fun to be a part of. Again, next race for Sim500 tomorrow night, Cup Series. We go to the Legacy Texas Motor Speedway for Monday Night Racing here on the Captain Esports Network. Make sure you come join us at 8:15 as Kevin will join me. And we'll have some fun and put on a good show there at the Great American Speedway come tomorrow night. Legacy Texas Motor Speedway. Again, another 6 nights of racing this week as we'll see plenty of mile and a halves. Kansas tonight. Let's see. Legacy, Texas tomorrow night. Vegas on Tuesday. I think it's Kansas on Thursday, if I remember correctly. Wednesday night, we actually get a road course at Sonoma. Friday night is, hey, there's a target. Friday night, there's, let's see, they are at, off the top of my head here, I'm losing that track in my head. So, anyways, but plenty of racing. Come check it out. Start tomorrow night at Kansas Speedway. So, let's go from there. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday nights. And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation.
From the Captain Esports Network.